Let's talk about strategy next. This is a great article by Michael Porter from Harvard, and it goes through and talks about in detail what strategy is and what it isn't. He spends a lot of time in the article talking about how strategy is not being efficient, what he terms operational effectiveness. A lot of people think that simply being really good at what you do necessarily gives you a competitive or strategic edge. That's not true. What he talks about in the article is the value of strategic positioning. What he means by this is going through and doing different things than your competitors. So we talked about earlier how people get value from a particular company or organization they buy from or donate to. What Porter is going through and talking about in this article is how companies are different. There could be multiple companies that all provide the same service or product to consumers. And the question is thinking about how are you as a company or organization different from others? This article goes through and describes how that's possible. Porter goes through and talks about how strategy is performing different activities or performing activities differently than your rivals. There's three different ways or three different strategic positions that he describes in the article, and we're going to summarize those now. The first strategic position that Porter goes through and talks about is what he calls access-based. What this means is that there's somehow a limit, whether in time or location or space, that enables only one company to be the provider of a particular product or service. In essence, they're kind of acting like a monopolist. You could imagine this in a couple different cases. One could be if you're in a really small town and there's just one movie theater, right? There's only one place you could go to go see a movie. Another example could be it's 4 in the morning and you really want to buy a Diet Coke. Where can you go? It's going to be maybe the vending machine or perhaps the Circle K or convenience store. They can charge higher prices because of the fact that they know they're the only place open or convenient to go to. Or perhaps you're at a festival like Coachella and you're only one of a few vendors that are able to actually sell something on site. In that case, they can charge higher prices. Another neat example is thinking back many years ago before the internet to the Sears catalog. If you think about it, the Sears catalog was the only way to really get some products and services if you didn't live in a major city or near a Sears store. You could order stuff through the catalog, call it in, and it would be sent to you in the mail. Really cool and innovative at the time, right? But you think about it, if they're the only place you can buy from, they're taking advantage of that access-based positioning. The only place in town you can buy from. Another example, which is more modern, is thinking about Starbucks and their app. When they were the first company to make it possible to order coffee through an app, they had a lot of people who simply ordered from them because it was so convenient. So the first question to ask is, with your client or with your organization you're working with, are they the only one that provides that particular product or service to consumers? Are they the only one that provides those needs or meets them in that particular way? The second strategic position that Porter goes through and talks about in the article is what is termed variety-based. What he means by this is that a particular company is the only one that provides a really, really quality product. Whether it's a French bakery that makes a better croissant than anywhere else in town, or a place that bakes bread and they do so in a wood-fired oven that's made every day fresh by somebody trained in Europe, or maybe it's a coffee shop that is really known for being amazing at making espressos and foaming and steaming their milk. Maybe they've won awards internationally for going through and doing so, right? Being really good and really skilled at doing something sets you apart from competitors, and people will go and buy from you as opposed to buying from other places because of that expertise or because of that recognition. So for your particular client, think about with them, is it the case that they are the best at whatever it is they do in the area they serve? Are they the best place to make croissants, as this place is in Melbourne, and they charge like $10 a croissant? Amazing. I've had them, very, very good. Or are they amazing at making cocktails? Are they one of the world's top 10 best cocktail places, as we see up in La Jolla with Raised by Wolves? Really cool as well. So think about these things for your own client and decide, does variety-based make sense for them? Are they that acclaimed or that amazing that people will go to them because they're the best at what they do? The third type of positioning that Porter talks about is what he calls needs-based positioning. What this refers to is going through and arranging the activities that you do as a company to really appeal to a particular segment. So what you've done is you've gone through and purposely chosen to do some stuff and not do other stuff to make sure the whole experience fits really well with a particular group. For instance, you could imagine taking a look at a halal grocery store. That's an example of needs-based segmentation. They've gone through and everything in the store is going to fit with the dietary requirements of that group. And as somebody who goes in and buys that particular product or has those beliefs, it's a really easy, fluid experience for them. They don't have to worry about what is halal and what isn't. Everything is. Another example will be going through and thinking about a situation for someone like me who's super tall, right? And certain stores like American Tall, you take a look at them and I love the giraffe logo as well. How amazing is that, right? Everything in that store is designed for people who are tall. And it makes it really easy then to be a shopper. You can pop onto the website and I can buy anything in the store, which is a cool experience. It doesn't happen all the time. Another example is Costco. Costco's also gone through and made a whole bunch of choices in how they serve consumers too. They have a return guarantee. You can buy stuff and return it basically forever, unless it's electronics. What does this do for you? It instills confidence. You're more likely to try stuff and sample things that you might not have otherwise tried because of the fact you can return it. Other cool thing about Costco is everything is giant size, right? You could not buy just one avocado. You have to go through and you have to buy 40 avocados, right? Or Nutella for life. So Costco, great positioning for a certain group of people. Families, companies, people who want to buy a lot of stuff in bulk. Whole Foods, another type of retailer. They've also gone through and they purposely arranged their entire experience to fit with a certain group of people too. People who obviously care about the environment, care about their health. All of those types of products are going to be in that store. Is it cheap? Not so much, right? There are jokes about it being whole paycheck, but if you want to buy some rare spice or rare type of grain, whatever it might be, you can go to Whole Foods and you can guarantee yourself they're going to have that particular item in stock. So, to summarize, there's those three different types of strategic positioning. You've got access-based, which is the first one. Are you the only store in town or the only one open or the only one in a certain location? You also have number two, variety-based. You've gone through as a company and you've decided that you're going to be amazing at selling a certain thing. You're going to make the best croissant in town. You're going to have the best experience for an oil change. Third one is going to be going through and taking a look at being a needs-based positioner. What this means is you're going to be the one that goes through and arranges products and services in a way that makes it a really great experience for a particular group. Maybe the stuff you sell isn't unique, but the way you sell it and the way you provide it to people makes it really appealing for a certain group. Take a minute and think about which applies the most to your particular client, right? Is it the case that they're the only one in town? Is it the case that they're the best one at doing a certain thing? Or is it the case that they've gone through and arranged a particular experience to be really particular or fit really well with a certain group? Think about these three different options, consider them. It might also be the case that your client might be actually competing on two. Maybe they have a really cool experience and they are really great at making croissants, for instance, and perhaps they also have created an experience which is more appealing to a certain group. So think about these three and consider which one applies for your particular client.